Hello and welcome to Smart Money, brought to you by Daily Investor, South Africa's largest online investment publication. Now, 25 years ago, Jacques Celliers joined First National Bank in an e-commerce development role, supporting the launch of ebucks.com. He managed several initiatives along the way, particularly focusing on innovative entry strategies into new markets FNB had identified for expansion and joint ventures. He ran FNB credit card and retail foreign exchange for a while and was then appointed CEO of business banking. But for the past 10 years, he's been in charge of the bank, sitting as its chief executive. Jacques has been instrumental in growing the bank and pioneering digital innovation, so much so that FNB was awarded the Best Consumer Digital Bank in South Africa and the Best Mobile Banking App in Africa at the 2022 World's Best Consumer Digital Bank Awards. Thanks so much, Jacques, for your time today. So I've run through your profile there since having joined FNB, but if we go back to your early years, you actually graduated as an engineer. So how did you go from that to building a career in banking?
Thanks for the time, and it's certainly a colorful question. I guess I grew up in a home with mom and dad, all full of fun and tackling lots of innovative opportunities and starting businesses, closing businesses. I guess that was the sort of starting world of my innovative approach to things, and then ended up doing engineering. At the time when I finished engineering, the country was actually struggling a lot. It was 94, and there were, I think the interest rates were 20% plus. At the time, and there was not a lot going on, because a little bit like now, people were like trying to reconfigure, markets. There was disruption in most activities, that people were sort of waiting a little bit for certainty for how the economy should operate. And so I worked as an engineer for a bit, and then and started getting really passionate and interested in financial services, and I could see the industry going to be a very, very good environment where engineering type of topics, data and technology, could really play a role in modernizing an industry. It's so different than, I guess, some people went to retail or manufacturing, or but financial services was a really inspirational place to go to.
Yeah, well, it certainly has proven to have had a very strong hold on you. You've been at the bank ever since having joined Jacques. To what extent is loyalty and commitment what you attribute your success and your moving up the ranks at the bank to?
I would certainly not claim success. So I think it's a journey, and I think it's a pursuit of for happiness. But what I did find over the years, and I guess it's similar to many people who tackle other businesses, that what was nice about the environment at FNB was a very stable leadership structure. It allowed for a lot of stability in career planning, career management. Topics are always complex, and there's lots of flux in an organization. And you can think about Eskom today, for example, or any other company where there's a lot to be done. If the frameworks are stable and the family value system is strong, then it allows for talent to go left and go right, and to go up and down, and to have fun and to really participate. So FirstRand, more broadly, and FNB specifically, has really created over the years a nice platform for us all to play in, and I'm really grateful to have had the opportunity I had.
Yeah, you underline there the importance of leadership structures. As a leader, what's your advice to young graduates who want to build a career in banking and want to reach the top in the current, operating environment?
Yeah, I guess the answer is not dissimilar in any industry. So it's not just banking. The first thing for a young grad to make sure that they do well is they finish all their studies. I think it's a privilege to be able to get some studies behind you. So that's the most important thing. And it doesn't really matter which studies you do, whether it's, in the arts or in the finance world or engineering or technology or, medicine and law. It doesn't really matter. But it's important to finish something properly. And then it's also important to get some scars, right? And in the first years, let's call it up to the 30s, it's not really important to chase a title or a structure. It's more important to get experience. And the thing to really look for then is for something that you're passionate about. So the analogy is, in sport, some people have more passion for rugby or more passion for football, and you must try and find something that you would be willing to put in some discretionary effort. Some really late nights, some really hard work, and to get some scars and make some mistakes is something that you're really passionate about. I guess that's the what you do. And the other part is also how you do it. And today's graduates obviously have the privilege of lots more technology and enablement that you can tackle whatever topic it is you fall in love with. If you think about how different the medical world is today than they were 25 years ago, or the finance world, or even the arts and the music world. Today's music doesn't get created without technology and infrastructure helping, sort of any execution, whether it's the creation or the distribution. So it's that analogy of it's what you do, also how you do it, but really find something that you're passionate about.
Absolutely. And it certainly has been such an evolution that's been triggered by all the technology and what it's allowed for. We've seen, the extent to which it's enhanced human capabilities to no end. Jacques, 10 years for you at the helm, at the top with this kind of capability in your arsenal. What are some of the things that FNB's achieved over this period that you're proudest of?
Yeah, I mean, FNB is an unbelievable place and a privilege to work here. I mean, you can, one of the privileges that we've had over the years is the foundation of our organization has always been anchored around this concept of healthfulness, right? And 185 odd years in existence. What's amazing is the tool sets that we have today allows us to do so much more. So the anchor for our execution is what's really inspired me and continues to inspire me around helping people navigate their financial consequence, whether it's in their personal capacity or in their business capacity. So it's just this game of inches and applying new technology and finding better solutions, putting more people in homes, starting more businesses. It's ultimately our success is only dependent on whether our customers succeed, right? And what's nice with our organization is we continue to attract unbelievable clients that push the limits, that keep the lights on. No matter what gets thrown at them, they make plan A, B, and C, as we always refer to it. And then what that also then sort of results in is that it requires us as a business to have great people. And so what I'm really proud of is not only have we been able to build up and continue to build an incredible client base, but also equally have been able to continue to build incredible skills and careers for people, because ultimately, it's when people go home at night, are they proud to be associated with us in the, from the business or personal capacity as banking and finance services? And secondly, also for those who work here, are they proud to work here, and are they able to walk around and think about new ways of doing things and bringing out more magic to clients? So that's that combination. I mean, we don't really celebrate accolades for the sake of accolades. What we take from them is we get inspired by the fact that we get recognized for the stuff we do matters, right?
Especially, Jacques, when the road's been a tough one to navigate, right? If we look at some of the, current challenges you're coming up against locally, South Africa's grey listing amidst slow economic growth, whilst having to contend with a weak currency. What do you see it taking to get the country back on the right track?
Yeah, Alishia, we've got lots of work to do. And it's a very good question, because we often, people talk about where's the problem in the country. And I guess we have to say the problem's with all of us, right? We've all got a massive role to play to participate in getting us from where we are now to a better outcome, right? But if I can sort of take it down into a little bit of I think some structure to the response. We as a business also have many areas that are struggling. There's 40,000 people across our markets, across everything we do. You're bound to find operational areas here and there that are struggling, things firing on cylinders, not always the same. And people go, teams go up and down, and businesses perform better or worse. But I think if you had to stand back and you had to say, what our country is dealing with at the moment is many elements of our market is struggling. And we owe it to the market, really, to all help to play our part to get better operational excellence into the things our communities need to work with. I mean, obviously we need a good banking sector. That's a foundation of an organization. We need a good energy sector. We need a good technology sector, telecom sector. We need good municipalities that are functional, and a business like ours have to approve home loans, and then someone else has to facilitate the deed and the title transfer. And the ecosystem must work well together. So what we have at the moment is we have some areas firing, I think, and then some areas really, really struggling. And the energy sector is a clear example of that. What we hope to do is, if we can somehow find the magic that the environments are conducive to attracting talent. And you said, you asked me the question earlier about how do we get FNB to where we are today? I think the foundation of it all is if the leadership teams and the environment is conducive to talent to join. If we can get the A teams into the big problems as opposed to the C teams or the D teams, it invariably the problems just go away much faster and they cost much less to solve. And what's exciting with our market is we've got so much to do, right? We've got so much, so much to solve, and there's so many good people and talent in our market. If we can just find the right environments for it to really attract and for the EVPs to be of such a way that people really want to do good and add value. I think there's a lot of good that can come out from all these challenges.
And, if we're going to be frank about it, even if we start getting all of that in place, it is going to be a slow turning of the taps before we see growth really flowing. Amidst it all, Jacques, I've got to ask you, there's been mixed response to the Reserve Bank's decision to hike rates yet again. The latest was by 50 basis points. What are your views on the current hiking cycle, a necessary or a hindrance to achieving the growth momentum we're after?
I think we have to compliment the Reserve Bank on the approach till date. I mean, it's hard, right? It's tough to tighten the belts, but I think they've played an incredible journey and a role for us to get us to at least having a bit of breathing space. I think there's still so many moving parts around the real impact of load shedding and Eskom on our inflation. I also think that the volatility in the rand was not something that we can really influence. It's lots of geopolitical, topics. There's lots out of their control, but I think they have no choice to have done what they have done, and I don't think they're over yet. Maybe another 25 or another 50 coming at us. It is what it is, and I guess we can all help. There are many participants that can help if we can reduce and give more certainty to policies, especially the geopolitical stuff that the market has spoken a lot about. I mean, I think we can help a lot, and then it also relies a lot on what the US does. We unfortunately are an open market, and there's consequence to that, right? You have to trade in the world, and the US still has to do their corrections, and that might have a consequence. But by and large, I think massively proud of what the Reserve Bank's done till date.
On that note, Jacques, I mean, you touch on the fact that you can trade in the world. You can certainly choose where you trade and do business as well. Amidst it all, you remain South Africa based. You continue with this demanding position of running a large bank in the country. Is it getting harder for you to stay rooted, in South African soil, or are you firmly planted here? And I guess what I'm trying to get to is what makes you stay?
Yeah, that's a special question. I mean, at the moment, from a career perspective, me personally, I'm incredibly challenged, and I love challenge. I love the complexity of the opportunity. I think it's different for different age groups. If you're in your 20s, I think you are still traveling around and seeing the world. That's fine. In your 30s and 40s, I think you have some really other decisions to make. Where we are at the moment, obviously FNB can't immigrate, right? And so we I love being here. We love the challenge that's at hand, and I think we fully committed to see this proper business that we're in charge of, to make sure that we play our part to keep the lights on and to keep the economy exciting.
Well, on that optimistic note, Jacques, let's leave it there. Thanks so much for having joined us today. It was great catching up with you.
Thank you very much.